I messed with somebody's husband and I don't feel bad about it. Let me explain though. Let me explain. Let me explain.
I'm on the stage right now, singing your face.
What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Baby Duck, and we are back at it again with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and please make sure you hit that alert bell so you guys know every single time that I post. I just wanted to say thank you guys to everybody that has subscribed to my channel. Since I started my channel in January, I think I've gotten like 20 subscribers. So I just really wanted to thank you guys for subscribing, supporting me. It means a lot. So yeah. This was a very anticipated video. I took a poll on my Instagram to see what type of video you guys wanted me to post next, and this was highly requested. So excuse my hair, it looks a little messed up. I am going to redo it or whatever, the top at least. So please don't pay that no mind. But let's just get into the video. So this goes back to 2022. It's almost like I could have named this video a bunch of different things. I definitely could have named it a bunch of different things because there's a lot of moving parts in here. Also, before I start, I just wanted to say that I am going to be censoring all the names, so in that way I'm respecting everybody's privacy. So just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, this took place in 2022. Where I was working at the time, this was kind of like how me and him met. All right, so let's just get into it. So in 2022, I had just moved back to my hometown and I was actively working multiple jobs in order to afford the apartment that I am currently in. So like I said, y'all, I was single. So I was on BLK. This is a very crucial part to the story, okay? Now, for those of you who do not know what BLK is a dating app that is primarily for African-American, Black people, stuff like that. But people of other races and ethnicities are able to be on that app. In my opinion, if you're of a other race or ethnicity, I would think that you're on there because your preference would be a Black person, right? So I am sitting at my desk where I work and I am on BLK and I come across this white man, okay? And remember in my birthday vlog where I was saying that the guy that helped me, the valet guy, he was giving Eminem? This is what this guy was giving, okay? You know, like how when white men kind of like Black women, they kind of get like a real low cut, so you can't really tell. So if they tell you they Puerto Rican or something like that, you kind of can't argue it because you like, dang, I can't really see how your hair really growing out the scalp. He was kind of like that. He was giving like white, but not as spicy white. He was just giving like he had a little bit of like cayenne in him. You feel me? So throughout this story, I'm going to be saying things that are red flags that I did not catch. And now that I'm older, I understand where I was messing up and how it was obvious he had a wife. So I met him on BLK. We're talking, right? And the reason why he came up in my area, because you guys know with BLK or any type of dating app, it filters people that are close to where you are. So the only reason why we showed up in the same area, because mind you, he doesn't live in the same city as me, but he works in the same city as me, if that makes sense. So he came up in my area because we worked very close together, okay? So he comes up in my area, we start talking, and this is what he tells me about himself. Keep this in mind. He tells me, we're gonna call him Scott. So Scott tells me that we're around the same age. I think he's a year older than me. So at this time in 2022, I was 23. So he was 24 already, I think going to be 25. He tells me his birthday is in, ignore my cat. He tells me his birthday is in July. He's a Cancer. He said that he was, this is very important to the story too. He says he was in the Army. He says he was honorably discharged for PTSD, depression, and just a lot of mental health issues, and that he was currently living with his parents and his sister and his nephew. That's what he told me. Keep that in mind. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm feeling him. We're talking. So remember, I told y'all we worked close together. So one of the days me and him are texting, because we've just been texting for days at this point when we met. He goes, come downstairs, because he knew where I worked. So I come downstairs and this man has flowers. Now, mind you, when he pulled up, he had a very nice car. A very nice car. So I'm getting excited with the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like, okay, you got a car, you got me some flowers. Like, I might have to throw you a little something. So everybody at my job is like, oh my God, he got you flowers. That is so cute. Yada, yada, yada. So I tell him, after he gets me the flowers, I tell him, I say, you know, I think me and you, we should like actually go and meet up on a date. You know, we've been talking, you'll come to my job. You know what I'm saying? Well, this was the first time he came to my job, but then after that, he would come to my job like here and there. So I told him like, let's just go out for brunch. So I love going to this specific rooftop place. I'm sorry to tell you this, but if you're dating me, you're gonna get the same experience everybody else got, because I like what I like and I'm not changing it. So I wanted to go to this rooftop bar. Now there's two friends in this story, okay? We're gonna call the one friend Shanita. Shanita's the rowdier one, and then we're gonna call the other friend Legacy. Legacy's the calm one, okay? So I'm on the phone with my friend Shanita and I'm telling her like, oh, me and so-and-so are about to go, me and Scott, we're about to go to this rooftop bar. And mind you, at this time at 23, I took everything personal. Now that I'm single and I'm dating, if a guy cancels on me, I don't be caring. I'd be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm gonna do my YouTube videos. I'm gonna do my hair. I got stuff to do. But at this time, I used to take a lot of stuff like that personal. So I'm sitting and we have a reservation scheduled for this favorite rooftop restaurant that I like to go. And as we're getting closer to the time, I'm noticing that he's telling me, he's not saying anything. And you know how you could kind of tell when somebody's going to cancel on you, when they're kind of being not responsive, like they're not telling you like, hey, what time are we going to meet? Or, you know, hey, I'm on my way. Like it's getting to a point to where he's not even saying that. So I'm like, okay. So I text him and I'm like, hey, are we still on to go to this rooftop, you know, breakfast place? And he's like, no, I'm sorry, my car got towed. And I knew he was out. I didn't really think that that was a lie, because I think right before this, I was at my cousin's wedding. If you're watching this, hey Alexis. I was at my cousin's wedding and he was at an OSU game the day of the wedding. He was at an OSU game the day of the wedding. So I knew that he was downtown. So I knew that it was very possible that he could have gotten towed. So when he said like, oh yeah, my car got towed, you know, I'm trying to get my car back, I was just kind of annoyed that you didn't say that. You feel me? Like, why are you waiting until it gets closer to the time that we're about to meet to tell me that? So when he told me that, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? That's fine. We could schedule something else. Cool. But I was really hurt, y'all. I was so sick because I was so excited to see him. Mind you, like I said, we had been hanging out. He would come to my job. We would link in the car for like maybe like 15 minutes, like on my break. And then we would text and talk on the phone a lot. Okay. So I was kind of sick that we couldn't go to this breakfast place, but he was like, we're going to do something else. And I'm like, okay, cool. So fast forward, me and him are still talking. We're having little conversation. Now, in our little conversations, you guys have to keep in mind that I usually don't date white men. That's usually just not my preference. But I'm always a little bit weary. I'm a little bit like Dr. Umar when I'm seeing, you know, white people specifically wanting to date black people. I'm always asking like, am I your first black woman? You know what I'm saying? Because that could be a little bit of a culture shift. So one of the things that I asked him was, again, am I your first black woman that you've dated? Very important to the story. Keep this in mind. He said, no. He said, I've actually dated a girl 8 months ago. She's Jamaican. And I'm like, oh, I love Caribbean descent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Trinidadian invasion. So, you know, okay, so you kind of hit me. He was asking me like, oh, do your parents speak patois? And I'm like, no, my parents were raised in New York. Most of my family, they're New Yorkers. So, you know, they actually just have a very thick New York accent. You know what I'm saying? So in me talking to him, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm getting, you know what I'm saying, somebody that is, I'm not even going to say for the culture because that's reaching. But I have somebody that I'm not there. Like, I didn't feel like he was experimenting. I genuinely felt like, okay, I'm his type. Okay. Okay? And Josue, if you're watching this, I should have listened to you because you were like, I don't know about that. Him being on BLK and he's a white man, I don't know about that. So we're having conversations. I'm getting to know him, but he talked a lot about his ex and how they broke up and how they met in the army, and how they're no longer together because he got discharged. And I don't really say nothing about his ex after that, but she's very important to this story, okay? So fast forward, like I said, me and him are having conversations, and my friend Shanita, this is the rowdy friend that I told y'all about, okay? The turned up friend, the lit friend, the friend that's my evil twin. She comes down because Shanita lives in the college town that I was living in my previous story time talking about the haunted house. So Shanita comes down to where I stay, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna stay with you, for a few days just to visit you. And then Legacy, this is my other friend. So Scott comes up to me and he goes, hey, I was thinking that maybe we could do a Top Golf date. Now, if y'all are from where I'm from, y'all already know a guy taking your Top Golf virginity is like, so now I won't go to Top Golf. But he was like, it's going to be me and my two other friends. So if you want to bring your other friends, then that'd be perfect. So remember, I told you Shanita's in town and Legacy is like, I'll tag along too. So it's me, Shanita, and Legacy, and it's Scott and his two friends. We'll call them Tyler and James. So we got Scott, Tyler, James, me, Shanita, Legacy, okay? We all go to Top Golf, and we're having a good time. I've never really played Top Golf before. I think it's very lame, but they're buying us drinks and stuff like that. So then Tyler, Scott, and James are like, do y'all want to come back to our apartment? And I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be cool. So we end up going to the apartment or whatever, and we're having a good time. We're sitting on the patio or on the balcony, and we're gardening. For those who know what gardening is, you'll know what that is, Okay, so we're sitting there, we're gardening, we're having a good time. And one of Scott's friends, I don't remember if it was Tyler or James, we'll just say it was Tyler. He's telling us about how he sells flowers. He's like, yeah, I sell flowers. And, in my head, I'm thinking like, he's just trying to be cool. Like, I know a lot of men that sell flowers, so I don't care nothing about that. But he's telling us about how he sells flowers and how, that's how he makes his money and stuff like that. And he has the best flowers in the game, yada, yada, yada. So we get done gardening and we decide to come into the house. Because remember, I told you we were on the balcony. So we come into the house, and while we're in the house or whatever, we're playing our music. And like I said, these are palm color people, okay? Like they're not really dancing. They're more so just drinking and socializing. Me, Shanita, and Legacy, we getting up, we hitting the stanky leg, we dancing, we having a good time. All of a sudden, he didn't come out the dryer. His other roommate, there's a third character out of his, well, I guess a fourth. We're gonna call him Sam. Sam looks like he comes out the dryer. Now, mind you, everybody is fried. We're sitting in the living room, we're hitting the stanky leg, we drinking White Claw, we talking, we dancing. And Legacy is like, did bro just come out the dryer? And his friends are like, And we're looking like, how many people you got in here, right? And he's like, oh no, this is my roommate. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why didn't you tell us you had a roommate? You know what I'm saying? Like, we thinking it's, two of us, two y'all. Okay, whatever. So we ignore his friend coming out the dryer. Everybody's drinking. We're, we're doing our thing. And Scott comes up to me. He whispers in my ear, like, let's go in the bathroom. Let's do a little something. So in my head, I'm like, no, because this is not your crib. This is actually his friend Tyler's crib and his roommate Sam's apartment. So I'm like, no, I have my own crib. Let's just go back to my place. So I tell Legacy and Shanita, like, hey, we're about to go back to my place. You know what I'm saying? Is that cool? And they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, or whatever. Y'all do what y'all do. And Shanita's like, just don't be loud. Because remember, Shanita's staying with me. So we leave, right? We're driving back. I'm telling Shanita and Legacy, like, yeah, you feel me? Like, he's about to come back to the crib. I'm texting him, no response. It wasn't even like he put his phone on D&D. It was almost like he turned it off. So I was like, okay. Now I'm starting to get a little irritated because now it's getting a little suspicious. So I'm telling Shanita, now something I need to say about Shanita is Shanita stays getting cheated on. I love her to death, but she stays getting cheated on. And you know how I'm this friend too. Sometimes friends have a tendency to project in relationships. So I'm telling Shanita, what's going on? And she goes, Naomi, I think he has a girlfriend. Like, it was like, I think he has a girlfriend. And I'm like, Shanita, I don't think so. She was like, okay. I think he has a girlfriend. I think all the signs are there, because every time it's time for him to link with you by yourself, he never comes unless you guys are doing the do. Because mind you, at this point, which I'm kind of leaving it out, but I'm gonna say it, at this point, he had came over and we would do the do at my crib. But remember, I told you he don't live in the same city. So he's driving damn near an hour to come and do what we do. And then he would just leave. You know what I'm saying? And then when he would leave, we wouldn't talk. So she was like, he's only really responsive when he's pulling up to your job and, you know, when y'all are basically sleeping together. So to me, that gives that he just has a girlfriend or he's not really feeling you like that. But I'm thinking Shanita's projecting. But listen to your friends. So me and him kind of have a back and forth about it. I'm telling him, like, I feel like that was lame. The next day, I'm like, how could you, like, tell me you're going to come somewhere and then you don't come? Like, you already didn't come to the rooftop and I let that slide because you got your car towed or whatever the case may be. But it's kind of lame that you insinuated that we should do that and you want to do that in your friend's house. That's kind of lame. Like, I don't want to do that. You could have just came to my crib and then you never come. And every single time it's time for you to come, you act weird. I don't hear from you from certain times of the day. Like, this is weird. And, you know, he's hitting me with the regular guy thing. Oh, well, you're not my girlfriend, so I don't have to explain nothing to you. And again, like, I should have just stopped talking to him there. But I didn't. So fast forward, it's Halloween, okay? This is where it kind of gets messy. So it's Halloween. And me, Shanita, and Legacy decide we're going to go outside and we're going to shake our Debbie cakes, okay? We're outside and we're like, listen, we dress up as 3 sexy cowgirls, okay? I'm a white cowgirl, not Legacy. Shanita is like a red sexy cowgirl, and Legacy, she has a job to where she can't really be like super provocative. That's all I'm gonna say. So like, she looks good too, but she's just not as half naked as we are. So we all go out, right? Mind you, he door dashes. He door dashes in the city here because I guess he said he can make more money in the city here versus where he lives. So we're out in the club, we're taking pictures, we're throwing ass, like we're having a good old time. So you know how that be when you get to the club, you get a little drunk and you be like, okay, I want my little yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want my little yeah. Because I'm the type that if I'm dating people, if I'm sleeping with one person, I'm gonna sleep with that one person. In the event that I do want to talk to somebody else and I maybe am thinking about sleeping with them, I'm gonna tell the person I'm sleeping with, like, hey, I'm sleeping with somebody else. I'm very transparent because safety is the biggest thing. So I'm only messing with him at this time in that manner, if that makes sense. So I'm a little drunk. We go to this nasty food truck and he's texting me and he says, hey, I'm actually door dashing in that area. I'm gonna send you my location and I'm about to pull up. So, or you could pull up on me. And me, Shanita, and Legacy are like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'll be straight. So we pull up to the location. We waited there 30 minutes. This man never came again. So now I'm on 10. Now I'm mad because now you done embarrassed me in front of my friends multiple times. And it's like, what do you want from me? Like, do you want to date? What are you doing? Again, should have listened to Shanita. But I didn't. So fast forward, me and Shanita go back to my crib because remember I told y'all Shanita don't live here. And she still don't live here. Shanita lives in the town where I used to go to school. So every time we come back together, we're coming back to my crib. So we're eating Popeyes, we're drunk. I'm texting him. And oh my gosh, you guys. Listen to the lies men make up just so they can continue to deal with you. So I come in the crib and we're on Instagram, right? Mind you, he would also post things on Instagram and on Snapchat that kind of suggested that he was married. But I never thought nothing of it because I will post a lot of stuff about relationships, even though I'm not in one. And some of the content that I post will be about people that are married. So I messaged him on Instagram and I was just like telling him, like, you're really lame for that. Why would you tell me to pull up at a certain spot downtown and you didn't even show up? So he goes, and y'all, what I'm about to say is really mean, but in real life, I can be really mean. So if I'm gonna tell a story, I'm gonna tell the whole story. You feel me? I'm not gonna leave out the parts that make me look bad. I'm gonna say it. So we're texting, we're arguing, and he goes, well, I just want you to know that my ex, the one I told you about, the Jamaican one, she just passed away. So, I'm sorry. He goes, she just died. So, therefore, I'm upset. I'm sad. That's why I ain't show up. Oh my God, y'all. Because I knew that was a lie. Because I knew he was lying. I said, well, what shoes did she have on in her casket? What shoes was she wearing? What shoes was she wearing? He was like, oh, and I was like, oh, yeah. What is we talking about? I was like, you're lying, bro. She didn't die. And I was like, even if she did die, what do that got to do with what I'm talking about? You couldn't tell me that. And because this lie is so elaborate, I know it's fake. So I said, I don't care nothing about your dead ex. I don't care nothing about her. I don't care nothing about that girl. I'm so sorry. I don't even know why you told me that. We're not talking about her. We're talking about me and you. We're talking about me and you. So I don't care nothing about that girl. I don't care. What shoes was she wearing? That's what I care about. So he blocked me, right? He blocked me and he's like, you're so messed up and this is why I won't deal with you because you're this and you're that. And I'm like, yeah. But I'm hurt, y'all. I'm hurt that he blocked me. I'm talking to Shanita and she's like, remember I told you we had Popeye. Shanita like, girl, don't even worry about it. He's lying. Don't even worry about it. Again, should have listened to Shanita, but I didn't. So I go to work the following Monday because this all happened on a weekend, right? So I go to work and the job that I had at the time, I really wasn't doing anything. I was kind of like an office lackey or like, I don't even know what you would call it. They call it, if you're looking on a resume, a clerical assistant, but it really just means somebody who sits at your desk and does nothing all day. So I'm sitting at my desk doing nothing, right? So where he forgot to block me was Snapchat. Now, this man uses Snapchat religiously. We all know hoes use Snapchat religiously. I only started using Snapchat because of my YouTube stuff, but he uses Snapchat. So why does this man post a girl? But it's like, you know how people on Snapchat be posting old stuff. It's a video from 4 years ago and it's him and her. And he goes, I miss Germany. I'm thinking, okay, this is when he was in the army. Because in 2017, he went to the army. And I'm like, okay, I was in college at that time. Cool. So I'm thinking like, okay, who is this girl? Something else I left out was I had seen him post her before on his Snapchat. He never posted her on Instagram. Remember I told you he would post stuff about marriage on his Instagram, but on his Snapchat, he posted her one time before and he said this was his cousin. Mind you, this girl is black. But I'm thinking maybe she's mixed. I don't know. Again, me being dumb. This is a black woman. And he's posted her before and he said, that's my cousin. He hit me with the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I see the same girl again. So instead of going off, I go to Facebook because you already know Facebook gonna tell on everybody. So I go on Facebook. And I go to his Facebook. I type in Scott, and let's just say his last name is Jones. I type in Scott Jones. I'm looking through his Facebook. I'm seeing his army stuff, but I'm seeing the girl. So I'm thinking, okay, that's one thing he lied about. This is not his cousin. This is his ex-girlfriend. I'm thinking, I wonder if this is the one that passed. But I'm thinking, like, if she passed, I would see some type of remembrance, something, and yada. Okay? Mind you, Shorty is Jamaican. And I'm not gonna hold y'all. She kind of looked like me. She kind of looked like me if I was light-skinned and if I had bigger tatas. She looks like me, so I'm kind of looking like, okay, he is a type. Okay? So I'm scrolling and then I see this man cheating, like, in a picture at the courthouse with this girl. I'm thinking, like, he's a little dressed up for a speeding ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in denial. I'm like, and why would he be holding her hand? Like, I've worked in a courthouse before, like, he's a little dressed up for that. Then I'm reading the comments and it's like, congratulations. So now the Delulu is leaving my brain because I'm like, why they congratulating him getting out a speeding ticket? Like, I'm really not, it's not registering with me that this is them at the courthouse getting married in 2020. And then it registered with me like, okay, he was in the army, she was in the army. They have a papers marriage. For those of you that don't know, and I was educated because Shanita's boyfriend at the time was in the army. People in the army will get married and please, in the comments, let me know if you guys know more about papers marriages. But the way it was explained to me is that people in the army will rush to get married because people will get deported. And in order for them to go with that person, they have to get married. And a lot of people in the army will just rush and get married. So that's what it was giving. It was giving that they traveled the world together and all this stuff. So I find the girl's page. We're going to call her Rachel. I find the girl's page on Facebook. And when I tell you Rachel called me broke in 45 different languages, this girl was Louis'd out, Prada out. She called me broke in every way possible. Every way possible. I'm looking at the pictures and I tell you, she is taking trips like how I get up and go to Meijer. She's taking trips that often. She's taking trips as often as I go to the grocery store. And she got money. You see how hard? Money. So I'm like, aw, and she cute because she look like me, and she cute. I'm like, oh man. So I called Shanita. No, I didn't call Shanita first. I messaged him on Snapchat. I said, "You're married?" Exclamation point, question mark. Immediate block. Immediately, this man blocked me. I was like, ain't no way he blocked me. So I'm driving home, got this long drive from downtown. I'm calling Shanita. Mind you, Legacy didn't answer. This latter half of the story would have been completely different if Legacy wasn't taking one of her infamous 45-hour naps, okay? Legacy came home from working a long day at her job and she be passed out, and she like me. Her phone on D&D, you can't call her. You dying, it gonna have to wait. So I called Shanita because Shanita's up, okay? Shanita, remember I told you, this is important. I'm gonna tell you why I think Shanita said this. I called Shanita, remember I told you Shanita gets cheated on. She actually had just got done getting cheated on when I found out. So I called Shanita and I'm telling her like, yeah, it's not even that he got a girlfriend, he's married. And Shanita was like, dang, are you gonna tell his wife? And I'm like, no. Because why am I, at 26 years old, I'm just going to tell you right now, if I find out that a man has a girlfriend or a wife, I'm never going to come to you as a woman because you girls don't care anyways. You know that he's cheating. You just don't care. You don't care. And that's totally fine. Whatever floats your boat. So I'm telling Shanita like, nah, I'm not going to tell her. And she's like, no, I think you should. I think you should because I would want somebody to tell me. So I'm listening to stupid Shanita, okay? I shouldn't have said nothing. So I find Rachel's Instagram. No, I think I messaged her on Facebook first. I say, hey, Rachel, you know, I just want you to know that I've been messing with Scott. And of course, she's like, oh my God, send me the screenshots. Because mind you, Rachel's a little bit older than me. At the time, like I said, I was 23 and Rachel is like 27. So she's a little bit older than what I am now. So she's like, oh my God, like send me the screenshots, girl. We're going to straighten this out. You know, making me feel like, you feel me? Like she's on my side. So mind you, at this point, when I had found out, like I said, I was driving home, but I decided like, I'm gonna make some money. So I'm gonna DoorDash. So I'm texting her like in between dashes and I'm basically telling her like, yeah, like what I found. And I sent her the screenshot. So she don't text back for a while, right? Then she texts me and says, I would like to get on a FaceTime call with you and him. You would think Shanita would be like, that ain't gonna end well. But Shanita was like, yeah, get on the phone with her, tell her the tea, tell her what's really going on. So I get home, I stop my dash, and I'm looking a mess, okay? I'm not looking decent. I just have my scarf on because I don't really care about looking cute for her because I'm not into girls. So I'm like, I'm not trying to look cute for you. If you just want to get some clarification on what happened and you and your husband do what you got to do, then that's cool. So we get on FaceTime, right? And she goes, you need to tell me what happened. And I'm like, a little hostile, but okay. So I started telling her like, yeah, you know, we met on BLK. We went here, we did this. And as I'm telling her the story, she's getting more mad as I'm telling her what happened. So she cuts me off and sis goes, I don't want to hear the rest of that. Scott, tell her what you told me. So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, again, a little house. That's two. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, that's two. He goes, you know, Naomi, I don't want to deal with you anymore. I love my wife. And she was like, yeah, and tell her that she's not even all that cute. And I said, see, that's three. Let me stop you right there. I said, did you add me to get in this call so then that way you could like try to read me in some way? Because if so, we're not even going to do that. We're not even going to do that. We're not even going to play like he don't think I'm cute because we matched. He literally matched with me before we even knew anything about each other. So stop it. Cut it out. Cut it out. And she was like, no, 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 no. He's messing with some little girl and I don't have time for that. I was like, little girl, baby girl. Okay, I am 23. I got a job. I got a crib. I got a car. I am doing the damn thing, honey. Okay, honey. And I have a degree. So, yeah, play with your cootie cat, but not me. And she was just like, well, first of all, girl, he don't want you. He want me. He wasn't even supposed to be in Ohio right now. He was supposed to be in Ohio to get his job, and then we were going to move together. And again, her calling me broke. She goes, I'm in the middle of sweeping one of my properties. She said, one of my properties. And I was like, well, damn, maybe if he liked you, he'd get you a vacuum so you don't have to be sweeping the carpet. You got all this money. Why are you taking a broomstick to carpet? So he starts getting mad. He's like, don't talk to my wife that way. Don't talk to my wife that way. And I'm thinking like, y'all are not about to tag team me. So I call Shanita. Let me tell you where Shanita's a fake friend. I call Shanita. Shanita answers, right? And Shanita is like, hi, I'm Shanita. And she was like, I was there through it all. And this, to me, I thought this was fake. Y'all can let me know in the comments if y'all thought this was fake. I felt like it was fake that Shanita told Rachel that she was like, I always knew that he was talking to you. I was looking at Shanita like, whoa, why would you get on the phone and say that? Even if I was being dumb, why would you get on the phone and say that? And she was like, I mean, yeah, Naomi, like, we always told you that he had a girlfriend or something, but at the end of the day, your husband shouldn't have been talking to her. And Rachel starts saying like, well, she's not special because he does this all the time. And I was telling Rachel, I said, you couldn't waterboard that information out of me. I want you to know that. Like, you could not waterboard that information out of me. I would never be telling I don't even want to consider myself a side chick, but I guess I was a side chick. I would never be telling the side chick that you're one of 50. I would never say that. You're already shitting on me with no laxative with the fact that you make so much more money than me. And you are now telling me that he cheats on you all the time. You would have to do some heinous crimes for me to literally want to tell you that. Like, I'd have to be fearing for my life. And even then, you probably still couldn't get that information out of me. So when she said that, I'm going to tell y'all what Shanita was trying to do. So Shanita was trying to get her to tell us a little bit about their past and things like that. But in my head, I'm like, why do we care about that? I don't want to deal with him no more. I'm not dealing with no married man. I'm not. And he was just like, she's lying. And my friend was like, no, Naomi's not lying. They were messing with each other and he never said anything. He never even wore his ring. None of his friends said he was married, and I'm sure they knew. So Rachel starts telling us about how when they were in Germany, he cheated, and she told him that, she didn't want to keep dealing with him cheating, and that if he was going to move to Ohio after he got honorably discharged, that he needed to get it together. And I'm looking at her and I was just like, I don't care about how you asked him to get on one knee just so he could cheat on you. And that's what I told her. And then I reenacted how we were doing the do on the phone, because I just was getting tired of hearing her talk. Because I get what Shanita was trying to do. She was trying to get the scoop and get the tea. But at this point, I do not care. You got on the phone. You tried to tell me I was ugly. You tried to make me feel like it was my fault, when if I would have known at any point that he was married, I would not deal with him. I don't deal with boys with girlfriend or men with girlfriends. I don't deal with people with wives. I don't deal with any of that. And to be honest with you, he did have money. And people after the situation were telling me I still should have messed with him, because if his wife knows that he's cheating, then who cares? But I don't move like that. I have not talked to him, and this happened 3 years ago. I will not talk to him. I still have him blocked. I can't even find her on anything anymore. So at this point, I don't care. I'm telling her, like, listen, you're sweeping your carpet with a broom. You obviously don't have a vacuum in that property. So that's what you need to focus on. And if he cheats on you all the time, then what I think you need to do is just have him take you on a trip and just act like you forget about it. If I would have known that you don't care, though, I wouldn't have even told you. I wouldn't have even told you. I thought you was going to... I don't know why I thought she was going to leave. Y'all don't be leaving. But I thought she was going to leave. So she hangs up because I start demonstrating how I was doing the do on her man, because she just kept talking and I didn't want to hear it. So she hangs up and he texts me and he's like, you're so disrespectful, yada, yada, yada. I said, what's disrespectful is you have your wife sweeping the carpet. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, what's disrespectful is that you were talking to me and you were supposed to be getting some bread, but you were worried about coochie. He's like, wow, this is why I can't deal with you. And I was like, is that the shorty that you said had passed away? And it had registered with me that it was. And I was like, dang, and you saying she passed? You're lame. You're so lame. He got to cussing me out and he blocked me. If you go to my TikTok, which I be having my TikTok name in my description box, you guys will see that if you scroll down, there is a video where I kind of made a joke about it. If you go to my Instagram highlights, you will see when we went out on Halloween in 2022. This was all in that same time frame. But that's basically what happened. I didn't talk to him since. What y'all gonna know about me in these story times? I stand on a different kind of business. If you tell me you don't want to be friends with me no more, you're never gonna hear from me again. There's no coming back over here, baby, okay? We break up, I'm not gonna talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna deal with you unless you're my favorite ex. But I'm not gonna deal with you. So I really, like I said, I don't deal with men that are married. I don't deal with men who have girlfriends. If you're with somebody, just go and be faithful. So I haven't spoken to him. I probably cried about it for like a month and a half, and then I had a new man. So yeah, but it was funny because everybody kept telling me like, you should just keep talking to him. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But that's pretty much it for this video. That's pretty much all that happened. We kind of fell off and we didn't talk anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have more videos on the way. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe and hit the alert so you know every single time I post. Bye!